welcome back. Thanks for coming back and watching another video. For any of you that have not been here before, welcome. My name is Krista. All right, so today I am going to talk about items that we sold to help us pay off debt. So for any of you that have never been here before or watched any of my videos, my husband Aaron and I are currently on our debt-free journey. We started it in August of 2019, and as of October 2020, we have officially paid off $70,000 worth of debt in just over a year, which has been amazing. We are not quite done yet, but we are on our way. We are scheduled to be 100% debt free by the end of the year. So super exciting. There's a couple of different ways that we have gotten here, gotten this far and made this kind of headway. We don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. We didn't win the lottery. We never got an inheritance. We weren't given, large sums of money for just no reason. This is all things that we have done by working, by selling items, by budgeting and sticking to a super, super strict budget, knowing that we will not have to do this budget forever. We will probably forever have a budget, but it will not be this strict forever. It's only this strict until we can get everything paid off. So we've done it through a variety of different things, and it's been hard, it's been challenging, but we're almost done, and it will be totally worth it in the end. So today I'm going to talk about the selling portion of bringing in some extra money. So, we bring in our money with obviously our income and our side hustles and things along those lines, but we also have sold a bunch of stuff to bring in some additional money to help us pay off debt. The big thing, one of the biggest ones that we did is I had a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we sold it back to the dealership. So we eliminated that debt completely, removed it from us. That was I think $23,000 worth of debt that we were able to eliminate just by selling that back to the dealership. So that was amazing. I now drive a 2011 Jeep Wrangler, and I love it because it's mine and it's paid for, and I don't owe anybody anything for it. So it was totally worth it. It was hard when we originally did it, but it is totally worth it now. Now when my vehicle needs tires, I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. We'll get tires for it because I'm not making a car payment on top of it. And so knowing that the vehicle is actually yours and that you will never have to make another car payment again and take out a car loan again, you can pay cash for it, it's just an amazing feeling. Our second largest sell that we did to bring in money, it just actually happened this weekend. We owned a 1972 Volkswagen Super Beetle. It was the cutest little yellow convertible bug in the world. We bought it, I think, like 6 or 7 years ago. We had no money, so why would we not buy a classic car? It makes sense, I thought. So anyways, we listed it for sale earlier in the summer. We had a couple people come and look at it here and there, but nothing ever turned into a sale. So we figured we'd actually hang on to it till next spring or summer and try again. But this last week, someone contacted us. They found it on Craigslist, which is where we had listed it at, and wanted to come look at it, and sure enough, took it home yesterday. So that was a huge sell for us. That money is going to be put towards our debt and is going to ensure that we are going to have everything paid off by the end of the year. So we were super excited. Plus it went to a really good home. someone that actually knows way more about it than what we ever did. So that was great. When selling things, there's a couple of different ways to sell items. So like the Volkswagen, we put it on Craigslist. So you can do Craigslist, you can do Facebook Marketplace. Around here we have Facebook garage sales, where like different towns have a Facebook page where you can post items and people can, search for items on there and contact you and buy things that you have for sale. Or you could do an actual garage sale or rummage sale on a weekend from your house. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. The main point is though, you have tons of stuff that you can sell. And I'm going to go through, like I said, some of the things that we have sold in the last year, just to give you some examples of some different items that maybe you can also part way with and make a little money off of. So the first one, when I started doing this, is and deciding we were going to sell some of the items that we had, knowing that we had more stuff than we knew what to do with. We just had so much stuff that I didn't even know what to do with it anymore. I had started like packing it away in totes, thinking like, okay, when I redecorate, I'll bring these items back out and redecorate with them. Well, we all know that was never going to happen. I'm not even that big of a decorator. So I started by going around my house and finding items that I had that either served me no purpose, wasn't bringing any sort of joy to my life, items that I no longer liked or needed or anything like that. And I started room by room going through it. And pulling things out of drawers and cabinets and cupboards and everything, and pulling everything out and actually physically looking at it and going, when was the last time that I used this? Is it something that I still need? Will I use it again? Will I only use it once in the next year? Is there something that I have currently that I'm going to keep that could replace this item? So I started, first of all, with the living room, pictures, vases, candles, knickknacks. I had a large clock on the wall that I no longer needed, shelving, just whatever I could find that just was bringing me no joy and that I was irritated with dusting. I decided to start just pulling all those items. So I was pulling them. And I created 3 piles. I created a trash pile. So anything that was broken, expired, had stains on it, anything along those lines would go in the trash pile. I had a donation pile. So maybe some items that I did not think that would sell, or maybe I just didn't want to sell, whatever, would go in the donation pile. And then I would have a sell pile. And obviously that would be anything that I was going to want to sell and put on one of the different sites. So I started doing that. Like I said, worked room by room. So just pulled everything I didn't need and then started posting them. And it was amazing. There's someone out there that will buy anything that you have. Like, someone's always in need of something that you no longer want or need. So it was actually crazy. We brought in a decent amount of money just by selling some of the things that we just no longer wanted up anymore. That then also led into like our kitchen. I would pull everything out of all the cabinets and I would review what I had, and if it was an item that I either don't use anymore, don't need anymore, don't want anymore, they got put into either the donation or the sell pile. If there was like maybe an old pan or something that was rusty or the handles broke off of it, or maybe a dish and the glass was cracked, that got put into the trash pile. And I started going through those. I actually found items that we received as wedding gifts 13 years ago that I had never used. Platters and I don't know, like some sort of vegetable cutter thing. Multiple cutting boards. I don't know why I thought I needed like 7 cutting boards. So there was just so much stuff that I was able to, maybe bundle together and sell as an lot item. So here you can have, these 5 cutting boards for $3, or maybe this glass casserole dish along with, I don't know, some of the 5,000 plastic spoons that I had that I don't know why I thought I needed. Bundled those things together and sold them as like a group of stuff. You'd actually be amazed if you sell things in the summer, the amount of stuff that will go, because parents are trying to get their kids ready to go to college. Maybe they're moving into a dorm and need some, things to, make like small items with in their dorms, or they need some decor, or they're moving into their first apartment and they need, a whole kitchen set up or whatever it might be. Parents are looking for this stuff constantly, and they don't want to spend a lot of money on it because we all know it may not even make it through the year. So just, it also really matters on what time of year you're selling things as well. So then after going through each room, pulling everything out, I would then list everything, like I said, and set up times. I typically, personally, I would give them the option. They could either pick it up at my house, or I would be willing to meet them, between this town and this town on these days between, 5 and 6 or whatever. So give people a little bit of options. I never usually would drive very far away because I wasn't selling things for a ridiculous amount of money, and I was trying to profit as much as I could to pay off debt. Next things that I did was the bedroom. I really focused on my bedroom and my closet. So what I did to start finding things to sell in my closets specifically is I took everything in my closet, and they're all hanging over the hook or over like the rod. I took all of them and I flipped them all around so that now the hanger is facing like the opposite direction, like you hung it up from behind. So I turned everything, I turned all the hangers, and I just started wearing my clothes like normal, every day, grab an outfit. If I wore that outfit and after it was washed and dried and I would hang it back up, if I wore it, I would hang it back up the correct way. So there, at the end of the season, anything that was hanging back in my closet the correct way was something that I had worn and clearly still had a use for. Anything that had not been flipped around was a piece of clothing that I never wore that entire season, so clearly I didn't need anymore. That is how I started cleaning out my closet. That helped immensely get the ball rolling and get things going on it. So once that happened, then what I would do before I would flip-flop seasons is I would look at everything that I did wear that season, and I would evaluate whether or not I felt like I was going to wear it again or not. We all have those items that we wear and the entire day we just feel super uncomfortable in it. Maybe it doesn't fit right, or it's just not your style, or whatever it might be. We all have those. Then I would get rid of items along those lines as well. And I would put them into a pile of either donation or trash or sell. Once I had a pile all set up, again, I would usually bundle items. So if I had 5 tank tops that I didn't wear, I would put them all together and say, I have 5 tank tops, this size, this color, for sale for $3, $4, $5, $10, whatever it was. And that's how I started getting rid of items. People are a lot more likely, I have found, to come and pick up or take the time and meet you to pick up items if there was more to the bundle. If it was more than just one shirt or one pair of pants or whatever, you can do that with kids' clothes. Maybe they've outgrown all of their last year's clothing, and you can say you can have all of these shirts, maybe there's 10 shirts in there for $10, and people are just a lot more likely to take you up on that offer because they're getting a lot more for their money. So that's how I did my closet. I then would go into my drawers, and a lot of times Anything that was at the bottom of the drawer were things that I did not wear all season long, so I would evaluate those. And any of those items then would again go into one of those 3 piles. I then did the same thing with my shoes. I used to be a shoe fanatic. If there was a pair of shoes that were brand new on the market, or I liked and I could wear with just one outfit, but I really liked them, I bought them. I was a shoe fanatic. I bet at one time I had more than 100 pairs of shoes. It was crazy. That has so changed in the last couple of years. I think now I own maybe 10 pairs of shoes. Maybe. I just do not buy shoes anymore. I do not keep them. A lot of times if they only went with one outfit, sometimes I wouldn't even wear them. Some of the shoes that I bought that were super cute hurt my feet. Turns out sometimes really cute shoes are just really, really painful shoes. And they just, whoever made them just hates feet. So I went through all of those. I, would put them on. As soon as I put them on, I'm like, oh, I remember why I never wore you. So go through your shoes if you've got a lot of them. See what you can eliminate and sell. I sold a ton of shoes online. It was crazy. I was surprised at how many people buy shoes. I guess I just didn't realize that there would be that amount of people that would be willing to buy a used pair of shoes. Most of them were like gently used, but they were still used. So go through your closets. Take a look, see what you can get rid of. I guarantee there's a lot of stuff in your closet that you really don't need, wear, like any of that. So go through those and see what you can find, and you'd be amazed on how much money you can make off of selling your clothing. Well, the next thing is cookbooks. I had a decent amount of cookbooks that I had been given as gifts throughout years, or my grandma, when she moved out of her house into her apartment, didn't want all of her cookbooks, so I had taken them at the time. But I had found out that I am way more likely to log on to Pinterest or the internet or something along those lines to find a recipe than I am to thumb through a cookbook. Just not a cookbook person, so I had no need for them or desire for them, so I sold them. Some of those cookbooks, especially like small town cookbooks, small town church cookbooks, actually go for a decent amount of money. So that was something that I did not realize, but it was a nice thing to get unloaded. Next would be other things around the house, like Scentsies. I had a Scentsy party one time, I hosted a book party, and I had a really great book party, so I got all of these Scentsies for free. Well, they've just been sitting in my basement on the shelf, never used, never opened, that I was able to sell. So check out items like that. Like if you've ever hosted a party, whether it be like 31 or Scentsy or Tupperware or Home Interior or whatever it might be, you might have a lot of stuff that you got for free that you've just never used that somebody else can get some use out of. We had a bedroom set that we sold. In our last house, we had 2 spare bedrooms. And so we had an extra dresser that we were able to get rid of, a frame, set of end tables that we had that we were no longer using, things along those lines. There's a lot of furniture that you keep because, you already have it, so you try to find a place for it, and next thing you know, it's being thrown into a spare bedroom, or maybe into the storage room, or maybe it's in an awkward spot where you don't like it at anyways. Go through, see if you can find some furniture that you're not using anymore that you can sell. Again, a lot of college students are constantly looking for furniture that is not going to cost them a whole lot of money because it's just more than likely not going to make it through the year anyways. I had some jewelry. Another party that I had, actually, another book party. It was Park Lane jewelry, I believe. And I got a whole bunch of free jewelry for having this party. And I'm just not a big jewelry wearer. I tried for a while, I tried to really get into it. I'm just not that person. So, and this was like some pretty flashy jewelry. I mean, it was very pretty, it was just not me. So I was able to sell the jewelry, which was great. Winter coats, I had a bunch of winter coats that I've had throughout the years, or maybe I purchased, one for skiing, thinking that this would be a great one for skiing or for snowmobiling, and it just never worked out. So I had a bunch of winter coats that I could get rid of and sell. And I mean, that time of year is coming. Kids are going to need winter coats, and families are always looking for coats for a reasonable amount of money for kids. So take a look at your kids' coats, your coats, see what you can part with and that you don't need anymore. To be honest, I know like some people will mix out their winter coats throughout the year, maybe like between like 2 and 3 of them. I don't. I wear one winter coat all year long, and I don't ever, I mean, it's my dressy one. If I'm going to a wedding, it goes to work, it goes to the gym, it goes wherever. So I just didn't need those amount of winter coats. We then worked our way out into the garage, and some things we were able to get rid of out there was a mountain bike. I bought a mountain bike a couple years ago thinking that I was going to ride a bike and that was going to be my new thing. I rode it one day and paid for it for a week. It was not my new thing at all. I hated it. I don't know if I will ever ride a bike again. I know, people love it, and people bike all the way across the state of Iowa as like a thing. Like they do it every year and they look forward to it. I'm not that person. So I had a bike that I was able to sell and get some money for. Aaron has a bunch of tools. And when I say a bunch of tools, if he's got 1 screwdriver, he's got 27 screwdrivers. And if he's got 1 pliers, he's got 30 pliers. Like it's just insane. He's got a ridiculous amount of tools. So we were able to go through, there were some like dual drills and stuff that he didn't need anymore because he's got other ones. And so go through items along those lines as well and see how many things you have out in the toolbox that you don't need anymore. We love to go kayaking. We love it. We go kayaking starting usually in March. As soon as the ice is off the water, we are kayaking, and we will kayak, all the way until it pretty much freezes again. So, but throughout the years, we have accumulated a lot of kayaks. Maybe, I know like at the beginning, Aaron just had a kayak, and then I got a kayak. Well, then he liked the one I had better, so then he went and bought one that was like mine. And then I wanted one that I could sit on top of, so then we bought one of those, and then we ended up with another one of those. And so I think we had like 6 or 7 kayaks. So clearly there's 2 of us. That's it. We don't need 6 or 7 kayaks, so we sold them. We're down to now just 2 kayaks, 1 canoe, 1 paddleboard, and that is it. So that was a great way to bring in some extra money too. So if there was like maybe a sport you guys did take up or thought you were going to take up, like my bike riding thing, and it just never panned out, no judgment, it's fine. But sell items. You don't need them anymore. You're not going to probably take it up again. I kept the bike for a couple years thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll ride this bike again. No. I don't know if you could pay me to ride a bike again. I'll walk. It's cool. So those are just some of the items that we sold that have made us money to help pay off debt. Now, obviously, it's going to be different if you have children. You're going to have, children's closets to go through, clothing, shoes, toys. I'm sure there's tons of toys your kids don't play with anymore. Maybe you have got, old electronics, laptops or speakers or video game items. Oh, I guess we did. We sold an Xbox, and with the Kinect controls and all of that, we sold that, this last winter. So maybe you have a bunch of DVDs that you don't watch anymore. I mean, there's tons of different things. So go through your house, see what you can find that you can sell, post them online, and bring in some extra money. And then make sure though that you are using that extra money to apply towards debt. Don't go and blow it. Don't go buy something else. Apply it towards debt. You can buy whatever you want when you're out of debt. You know, you will have more money to be able to do so. You can hold off during this whole process, and you can only, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, pretty much. So you can do it. I know you can do it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Otherwise, in the meantime, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you later. Bye.